Let's be real. Building wealth in the beginning feels like pushing a giant snowball uphill, slow, exhausting, frustrating. Every dollar you save, every cut in spending, every extra hour you work, it feels like barely moving the needle. But that's exactly where the first phase of wealth building gets tricky. Most people give up here because the math feels invisible. Before you hit around $100,000, most of your progress comes from your own effort, not from compounding or investments. You might be putting away thousands a year, scrimping on daily luxuries, maxing out your retirement contributions, but the gains don't feel life-changing. A 10% return on a $30,000 portfolio is just $3,000. On $50,000, it's $5,000. Sure, it's real money, but after a year of hard work and sacrifice, it barely moves the emotional needle. This is where the mental challenge kicks in. Human brains crave immediate rewards. We're wired to enjoy now, not later. So, skipping meals out or delaying purchases for a few extra $100 in savings can feel pointless. You see the numbers on a spreadsheet, but emotionally, it's a grind. The effort-reward gap makes persistence hard, and most people hit a wall here. Take someone I know. She worked in retail management, saved aggressively, maxed out her retirement accounts, avoided unnecessary expenses, and lived frugally for nearly a decade. After 10 years, she had about $90,000 invested. Nearly a decade of discipline, and she still hadn't crossed six figures. Not because she lacked intelligence or self-control, but because the snowball was still small. Most of her growth came from her own deposits. Compounding wasn't yet powerful enough to make the gains feel significant. This is the reality of the first phase. You are the engine. Your income, savings rate, and consistency drive almost all progress. The snowball is growing, but you're still pushing it entirely by hand. The habits you build now, saving, contributing, and staying disciplined, lay the foundation for a future tipping point where compounding finally takes over. Here's the game changer. Crossing $100,000 in investments and savings doesn't feel dramatic, but it completely shifts how wealth building works. Before this point, your progress is mostly linear. You save, you invest, you wait. Every return feels small, but once you hit six figures, the math starts working for you instead of against you. Why $100,000? It's simple. A 10% return on $50,000 gives you $5,000. Not life-changing, but 10% on a $100,000 equals $10,000. Suddenly, your investments are delivering gains the size of a typical annual raise without you working extra hours. That's when compounding starts to feel real, tangible, and motivating. The snowball is no longer just being pushed. It's beginning to roll under its own weight. Psychologically, this is huge. Up until now, your mindset is, how can I earn more? How can I save more? Once you cross $100,000, your thinking shifts to, how can I make what I already have work harder? You're no longer just the worker. You become the manager of a machine that generates growth in the background. The key here is momentum. Every contribution, every small gain, every reinvested dividend starts stacking on a much larger base. The same $500 monthly investment that barely moved the needle at $30,000 now compounds into thousands of dollars over time. Suddenly, discipline pays off in ways that are visible and motivating. This is also where the real power of strategy begins. You're no longer fighting gravity with brute force alone. Instead, you can pull three key levers to accelerate growth: offense, earning more; defense, protecting what you have; and efficiency, making your money work smarter. Combine them and your progress multiplies faster than ever. In short, $100,000 isn't just a milestone. It's the launch point where your financial system begins doing the heavy lifting, turning years of effort into tangible, compounding momentum. Now that you've crossed the $100,000 threshold, it's time to work smarter, not harder. The secret? 3 levers: offense, defense, and efficiency. Each one multiplies the speed of your wealth building, especially now that your base is large enough for compounding to make a noticeable impact. Offense is all about increasing your income. Every extra dollar earned now doesn't just add to your account, it compounds. Think negotiating a raise, taking on high-paying freelance work, or launching a profitable side hustle. Investing in high-value skills like coding, digital marketing, or project management can permanently increase your earning power. The faster you can earn, the more fuel you feed your snowball, and the sooner it grows exponentially. Defense focuses on protecting what you already have. Small leaks can drain growth faster than you think. That $50 monthly subscription you forgot about? That's $600 a year, which could compound into thousands over time. Avoid lifestyle inflation that erodes savings, pay down high-interest debt, and cut unnecessary expenses. By plugging these holes, you ensure every dollar continues to feed your financial machine. Efficiency is where your money starts working smarter without more effort. Use tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks, Roth IRAs, and HSAs to reduce what goes to taxes. Move idle cash into high-yield accounts and replace high-fee funds with low-cost index funds. Automate contributions and investments so your system runs consistently, regardless of your mood or market fluctuations. When combined, these three levers create a multiplier effect. Offense feeds more capital into the system, defense keeps it from leaking out, and efficiency ensures every dollar works at full speed. After $100,000, even small improvements in each area produce large, noticeable results, making wealth building feel less like pushing a snowball and more like steering a well-oiled machine. Once your wealth hits six figures, the real power comes from automation and compounding. This is where your financial system begins working for you, even when you're not actively pushing it. Think of it like a conveyor belt. Money moves automatically into investments, high-yield accounts, and tax-advantaged vehicles, quietly building momentum every month. Automation removes emotion from your financial decisions. No more second-guessing whether to invest, spending hesitation, or skipping a month because life got busy. Set up automatic contributions to a 401k or Roth IRA so your investments grow steadily. Schedule transfers into a high-yield savings account to keep your cash reserves earning more than a regular checking account. Consider a robo-advisor for rebalancing and allocating your portfolio automatically. Once these systems are in place, your finances run like clockwork. Compounding is what turns this automation into real growth. The returns you earned last year now generate returns of their own. At $100,000, a 10% return adds $10,000 to your account, not just from new contributions, but from the gains themselves. By the time you reach $250,000, that same 10% adds $25,000. The math hasn't changed, but the impact feels massive. That's why hitting six figures is a turning point. Protecting this system is critical. High-interest debt, scattered accounts, and unnecessary fees are friction points that slow your growth. Pay off credit cards, consolidate accounts, and streamline your investments. The smoother your system, the faster your wealth snowball rolls. And it rolls even when you're not actively working. This stage transforms your role. You're no longer the engine, you're the manager of a machine. Your task is to fine-tune the system, monitor its performance, and ensure nothing interrupts the momentum. Once automation and compounding are fully in motion, financial growth accelerates without extra effort. Your money truly starts working for you. Now that your system is running and compounding is working its magic, it's time to focus on scaling even faster. The key is combining offense, defense, and efficiency. Offense means increasing your income, negotiate raises, land higher-paying clients, or start a side hustle that leverages your skills. Every extra dollar earned now compounds more quickly because your portfolio is already substantial. Defense is about protecting what you've built. Cut recurring expenses, cancel unused subscriptions, and avoid lifestyle inflation that slowly eats away at your wealth. Even small savings, like eliminating a $50 monthly subscription, can grow into thousands over the years when invested wisely. Efficiency ensures your money works smarter, not harder. Use tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks, Roth IRAs, and HSAs. Shift cash into high-yield accounts. Move from high-fee funds into low-cost index funds. Automate everything to minimize missed contributions. These small adjustments compound significantly at six figures and beyond, creating exponential growth. Let's put it into perspective. A friend of mine had $120,000 invested and decided to implement all three levers. He picked up freelance work, cut $500 a month in unnecessary expenses, and shifted to low-cost, tax-advantaged investments. 5 years later, his net worth more than doubled without major lifestyle changes, simply by working smarter with what he already had. The takeaway is simple. The first $100,000 is the hardest because you're building the machine, your habits, discipline, and systems. After that, the machine works for you. Compounding and automation take over, and growth becomes self-sustaining. So here's your action step for this week. Set up one automated transfer to an investment or high-yield savings account. Start small if you need to. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Each deposit builds momentum for the future. Comment below with your biggest barrier to reaching $100,000, hit like if this helped, and subscribe for more strategies to grow your wealth smarter, not harder. Remember, your money should be your engine, not just a paycheck.